Like, don't at me.
Don't at me. Goddamn. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Don't At Me, episode 46, or really 46 part 2, B, whatever it is. We've got some lost recordings that we're going to unveil to you all this Friday. So again, this week, kind of dealing with a lot of, let's just call them scheduling conflicts and some challenges, including a freaking hurricane. Welcome to Houston. Anyway, put together a couple of lost recordings for you all. We've got a library full of them that you all will eventually hear at some point. We'll release them at some point. This one is one between myself, Mike Silva, and Chance Davis. We actually had a couple of movie ideas that we pitched to one another. Mine was kind of slasher meets paranormal. Chance's was more of a coming-of-age story featuring a lot of familiar faces from 90s movies in kind of a second stint of their career meta movie pitch. I loved it. You'll love it. Let's go ahead and throw the plugs in now. Check us out on social media on Twitter and Instagram at therep.network. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/repertoire_TPN, like the podcast network. Also, if you haven't yet, I really suggest that you bookmark our website. If you like Don't At Me, you like Repertoire, you like our style, you like our flavor, we've got all kind of merchandise there, ranging from official Repertoire gear to A Chance for Texas, congressional shirts. We've also got a lot of stuff coming out from Jock on the Pierre style clothing line. So there's all kinds of goodies on there. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please, spread the word. Help us grow. The more eyes and ears we get, of course, the more people that are joining the conversation, the happier we all are. So enjoy this lost recording and have a great weekend.
Don't at me.
We're going to talk some movie ideas. You ready?
Oh yeah, how do you do?
All right. So this idea isn't necessarily one that is way outside of left field. I think when you hear it, you're going to say, yeah, that's really simple. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, I feel like nobody's done this movie yet. Nobody's done this movie. Everybody could conceivably do it. And we've seen versions and maybe like relatives of this movie, but we've never seen this movie. And I want to watch this movie.
Okay, lay it on me.
So you've got, let's call them college film students, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to preface this right away with I'm taking a lot of this from Halloween Resurrection.
Okay.
So,
which was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, it's low key. Yeah, it is. It's low key and it's very underappreciated.
Busta Rhymes beat the shit out of Michael Myers.
He really did, man. He did. He intimidated him,
motherfucker.
He's like, "You ruining the whole effect." Poking his head and shit. He turns around. So you've got some college kids, right? And they've got this challenge of, hey, if you can go and stay in this haunted house for the night, you get, I don't know, they get something. I haven't figured that part out yet. Maybe it's some kind of a social media influencer thing instead of college kids. Maybe that's a little bit more apropos to today.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for like raising money for charity or something like that, and it's a haunted house. In fact, I like that. We'll go with that.
Okay.
So you've got like all these influencers and stuff like that, and maybe you can even kind of cast some of those influencers.
Yeah, King Bot.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, anybody that's not too, like Kylie Jenner or something like that's going to be, like, way too high of a ticket or, cost. But if it's, like, anybody that's on the rise and whatnot, you can actually cast them. They stay at this haunted house for a night, and they, whoever outlasts the group or whatever, they win, their charity wins, I don't know, like $100,000, something like that. And they're all doing it. They're getting sponsors because they're social media figure. So, Dove Men is sponsoring some, dude in there, some shit like that. You've got all these different perfume lines sponsoring these girls, whatnot. Mm-hmm. But that's why they're doing it, too. There's a lot of money in it for them to post their stories and all this kind of stuff. That's why it makes sense.
Yeah.
So they go there the first couple hours, they hear noises here and there, but really nothing to worry about. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Then, next thing you know, there's a killer on the loose.
Okay.
There's a serial killer in this house with them. And he hates social media influencers, and he just wants to kill them all, right?
Yeah.
So they find one of them dead, and they die a pretty graphic death. Well, at this point, they're not sure, is it the house? Because the house is haunted. They're not sure if somebody murdered them. They don't know what's going on, but they know for sure at this point that this guy is dead. Mm-hmm. So they're all flipping out. Well, next thing you know, another one of the people ends up dead, right? Somebody, maybe this is like your black dude goes off like, man, I'm going to go see what's in the kitchen. Maybe, right? He's like trying to go grab something to eat, and like, we should stay together.
Wait, who's the person that dies first? Like, what character?
It could be like some goofy white guy. Like curly hair,
Stony guy.
Yeah.
Maybe or the douchebag?
Not douchebag, not yet. This is maybe like the kind of nerdy one, but not like the Randy on Scream nerd.
All right, so wait, give me our characters. So, all right, so
okay, good point.
So we got influencers.
You got to have like a lot. So, you got to have like maybe like 9 different actors and actresses. Okay, maybe
so
that might be kind of high budget.
The big tit let's see posh spice type bitch. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You know what we should do too in the future is we should go back and revisit this episode and and actually cast it.
Yeah. Oh, for
you
sure.
know?
Hell yeah.
So, okay, you've got like you said, the big boobied girl. You've got the travel blogger girl who's like always like on her book and doing like artsy shit.
Final girl bitch. Like she's
maybe, yeah. I think maybe this one's a little bit more stuck up to be final girl.
Okay.
So you've got those two. You've got like the couple that's all cutesy and shit together. Mm-hmm. They're like madly in love. Then you've got another attractive girl, maybe kind of bitchy, like kind of like very
fashion.
modelly. Yeah, exactly, right. Then you've got the black athlete. Mm-hmm. You've got the suave white guy who's really just kind of like, I don't know.
GQ dude.
Yeah, he's just trying to be like a pretty boy type, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody thinks he's gay.
Swag fag.
Maybe everybody thinks he's gay, and they're like well,
Kais.
Yeah. And then you have, the guy that's like a social media designer guy or something like that, or a code guy, right? That's the guy that gets killed
nerdy
first.
Guy.
Yeah, that's the guy that gets killed first. Then you've got like the guy that organized everything. And he's kind of like weird. They don't trust him. And at first, he's kind of a suspect. So,
as always,
yeah, they
typical tropes.
Yeah. So somebody gets killed. The nerdy guy that's like all the app code designer guy. He dies, and they're all freaking out. They think the house is haunted. Well, the cutesy couple goes on to the side, and next thing you know, they get killed. So then everybody's like, "What the hell's going on? Like, what is this?" But they find a knife in one of their, next to them. So, okay, maybe there's actually a killer on the loose.
Uh-huh.
So then the athlete guy, they all try to sleep. They're sleeping in the same room, but the athlete guy is supposed to be on watch. He's sleeping out in front of the room, and he wakes up. Somebody's trying to kill him.
Oh,
so they tie him up. It's a serial killer, right? They caught him, right? And it's unrelated. It's none of those people. And they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm actually one of the, the crew guys. We were supposed to scene it to where it looks scary and haunted. And they're like, what? They find out it's not really a real knife that he had.
Right.
But at this time, they do know that there's somebody else in there killing people. So they keep him
Because
tied
there's
up
3
because they
people
don't
that's
trust
dead,
him.
right?
Right. They keep him tied up because they don't trust him. And then all of a sudden, they actually find the killer. And the killer is some old social media influencer that fell out of the limelight. He kills one more person, he gets caught, right? Mm-hmm. He kills maybe the travel blogger girl. Okay. And they catch him. At least they confront him. But at this point, they all get locked in some room and the power goes out. Okay, what's going on here? Then all of a sudden they find out that the house is in fact haunted. And when I say haunted, I mean like demonic type haunted, like really fucked up scary shit, like people getting possessed and then like it jumps out of them and shit like that.
Oh shit.
So you've got a slasher film mixed in with a haunted house film and a demonic possession film. Seems so simple in theory. It seems like, okay, there has to be a movie by now that has done this. To my knowledge, any of the big movies, I don't know of any movie that comes to mind for this. There's at least not one movie that comes to mind, and that's why I think this could make a good movie premise. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I think that it's something you could definitely expand on, like, a lot. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a lot done with it.
I think, first of all, the marketing behind it would be easy. You
Or
already
you
have the
could also make it
influencers.
like found footagey too,
Yeah.
because
Make
there's
it like
already
found
an
footage.
element of it.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, like,
You can
obviously
even
a
have
production
pieces
thing.
of that. They can use those videos as viral video for like their own Instagram stories and stuff like that. Like, hey, I'm at the house. That's how you can build up the hype.
Right.
You know, countdown to when I'm going to the house. That's how you can market this shit, right? Then, you know, looking at the
Yo, what even be dope is like how you said that. And I don't know. I just got this shit just flashed in my mind. Is like create these fake social media people like in real life though.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Start hyping them up on like different YouTube ads. You
yeah,
know?
like
Like, what is this? Maybe even have like a YouTube story. You kind of watch it and you're like, why am I watching? Why are all these people connected? And then all of a sudden it's to lead into this big movie. Then they all are established social media people and they're posting stuff to their Instagram stories and shit like that. You can maybe have like a celebrity host as the one that hosts the show.
mm-hmm.
You know? Like in theory, in
Right.
you know, like it's somebody playing themselves.
Right.
But the other thing too,
Kind of make it meta a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little
you know what
bit,
I mean?
yep.
So,
and what's interesting
Nick
about
Cannon,
it,
we gotta get Nick Cannon, bro.
somebody, yeah. But then the good thing is this can go many different ways. I think you can make this a really like genuinely scary movie. I think you can make it a parody of you know, like social media influencers and that whole concept.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it kind of a comedy. I think you can do it to where it's not
do
a
all of
comedy.
those.
Right. I think you can do it to where it's not a comedy, but it's still like artsy and like criticizes that person. I think the best route, and I don't know if you agree or not, but I think the best route would be almost like a what was I'm gonna be pissed now that I lost the name. It was a movie came out probably around 2013, and it was just very like meta. Oh my god! And it's got the guy from Thor. It's got Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth. Oh, dude, this is gonna drive me crazy now.
What kind of movie is it?
So they go out to this house. It's almost like an Evil Dead, and then people start dying. They try to escape.
Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Woods. Yeah. There you go. I'm pissed that I didn't know what I was talking about. But this would be
That's
like
a great
whatever,
movie, by the way.
Yeah, this would be whatever that genre is, to where it's like kind of actually freaky, but it's kind of a comedy. It's kind of a meta within the genre itself. I think that's probably the best approach.
You know, I don't know if Raimi did that, but I know that like that whole concept came from like Evil Dead thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so that actually is pretty good.
That is another route you can go to where it's like very campy, but it's still kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know, because Evil Dead is like that, where it's kind of weird, but and it's
Especially when it
cheesy
gets to,
at
like,
times. But it's,
Army of Darkness and shit like
yeah,
that.
then it's obviously like a meta. You know, it's like very like on the nose kind of thing. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways this could go. So that's my movie idea. What's yours?
So my shit is actually, it's actually kind of a bit the same, really, actually, if you think about it. But I kind of just came up with this shit like the other day, like randomly on the top of my head. And I like texted to the group chat and whatnot. I don't know if you read it, but
I did, but I need to.
all right, so
better
I'll read what I wrote and then I'll kind
Yeah.
of expand it from there. Hold on real quick, let me find this shit. Here we go.
So, and I know you had a couple of different ideas, and you had an
I got
idea
a
for an
shitload,
anthology. We'll dig in on one. The first one that comes to mind, the one that you're most passionate about, the one that, like mine, I think you could realistically see get made. And honestly, I'd be pissed if somebody took the idea and made it. But then I'd also be happy because somebody actually went and took my idea and made something happen.
Word.
Don't steal it though. Holler at me before you do it.
For sure. We timestamp this shit. Yo, alright, so well, this is the one I came up with the other day. It was like kind of random. And I got like an ass load of these. It's just that I just gotta think of them, you know what I mean? But, so, like, we're actually approaching our, like, 30th year, you know, like, of life.
Yeah.
Whatnot, you know what I mean? So, like, I always thought it was funny to, you know, like, you know how you have those, well, we actually grew up in the time where, like, those coming-of-age movies. Well, like, you know, like, those, I was about to say, like, all the parody names of them.
Like,
like
you're
those 10 things
and
that I hate about you, and those, you know, like those teen fucking.
You become more
flicks
aware of like social nuances and things that you didn't know when you were like 10 years old.
Right. It was like even movies that were like kind of like older than, well, you know, like things like Clerks and.
It's the first time you realize that you're growing a little bit wiser.
Right. Right. And like Reality Bites, you know, shit like that or whatever. You know, where they were more of their like mid-20s or whatnot, but. You know, like, and like also the scary movies of like, you know, the mid, like, you know, the Screams and the, you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer or whatnot, you know what I mean? Like, those were all like great. Like, so what, like, I was thinking about, like, you know, is that we could do a, like, collectively write a romantic dramedy. Like, so this is like, you know, a romantic comedy that is drama, but it's also a fucking like slasher flick that, like, it's like about our 20s. So this is like,
would this be like almost like The Loft?
I never saw The Loft.
Okay, then never mind.
All right, but this would kind of be like, not necessarily like one of those like intertwined stories, but it will obviously be like a timepiece, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like set in a certain era over a certain period of time between like a certain group of people.
I have a lot of 90s movie ideas.
But the cast,
for future
like,
reference.
I mean, this wouldn't actually be set in the 90s.
I know, but I have.
But the cast actually, so like this is about people in their 20s going into their 30s or whatever, but it's cast like how 90s horror flicks were cast. So, like, the people that are in this movie are, like, people that are probably, like, in their 40s going into their 50s.
Okay.
Like, Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Hewitt,
Is
Sean
it
William
meta?
Scott.
Is it like...
No, very meta, because, like, obviously
Is it
they're
like a New
older
Nightmare?
Yeah. Kind of
Okay.
like a New Nightmare. But, like, you have all these people that are, like, way older than the people that they're playing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of in the same...
Yeah, like maybe they're like 25, but they're actually like 50.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like how, you know, in the 90s, like in Scream, you know, Neve Campbell's probably like 30, but she's playing like a fucking like 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
She had that young look.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though? Like... So,
and
like,
Courtney Cox be to the new one.
Exactly.
She's like
Courtney
74
Cox,
years old, playing 28.
Exactly. For sure. Like, so that's like what I'm trying to like shoot for.
Yeah, and I mean that's like a good time for our age, and right now we're becoming the bigger consumer group than millennials.
Right.
So now it's nostalgia for us is a new thing. You know, that 90s and 2000s nostalgia even. I mean, 2000 was 19 years ago. Sometimes you forget that, but
yeah, it's weird because I always think like when I think about like 20 years ago, I still think 1980.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so,
dude, I think 2010 was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and that's like super crazy, like because that time is like about to be like way behind us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like dude, 2012 being fucking 7 years ago is crazy in my mind. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like 2009 being 10 years ago, like how like that Mac Miller shit. It ain't 2009 no more. It's kind of sad, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, like that hurts. But yeah, like I kind of want to go to like a movie like that just because it'll be funny seeing those old motherfuckers play like younger motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
So
and
what's
like,
the plot though? What's the story?
So
or do you have the story? You just
there's
have the
really
cast?
not a story. There's
you
just
just
like
get the
a
cast.
concept of a cast.
All right,
Yeah.
so you've got the cast, and if it's supposed to be meta, it could be about
So it's
them
kinda
trying
just
to
like-
find a career now.
Right, exactly. So like So
they're doing a
this is kinda
reunion
set
show, and that's
in the
all they've got going on. And they're like, what else do we do from here?
Exactly. So like they're like, you know,
Now,
in
is this
Hollywood,
more of a movie, or would this be a better Netflix series?
it could be both. It could actually be something that's like super like expanded on, like, you know, like each character could even have their own episode type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much, you know, it's like you know those like parody documentaries, like the mockumentaries about like the Dewey Cox story or whatever. That really wasn't like a mockumentary, but you know what I mean, like shit like that, where it's like
The Office,
like Bruno kind of
in
a way. You know what I mean, like just shit like that. You know what I mean, like kind of like making fun of like creating a character that's real. Oh, or like perfect example.
And you said it's a rom dramedy.
Yeah, it's a like a rom.
Is it like serious where it's like all those Adam Sandler movies, like Funny People?
Not that serious.
Okay.
But yeah, in a way though,
Yeah.
like it's sad. It's like, damn, these people's career sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they're not really playing themselves, but they're playing a parody of themselves, of real people, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, have you thought of a name for it?
No, not at all.
What about
like I said, this shit just randomly came. Like
just call it the Reunion Show, or is that
could be a possibility, because it could be like something like a reunion, or we
that's
could
how
even
they
get
back
like
together?
like I could even see this, instead of being like, you know what I mean, like say those specific people that I named, it could even be like the cast of Jersey Shore. You know what I mean? Like that would even be better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to have like Mike. Like,
so if you're gonna do that, now you got in the future MTV has their own streaming series or streaming company like Netflix,
right? But it's just like,
and now they're doing MTV original content, MTV.
But
movies,
it's just like
films.
Snapchat though. You know what I mean? It's just like all these classic MTV characters.
Yeah,
but it's like their Snapchat is like how horrible their shit is. Like now it's just like they're not like.
Oh, that would be cool. It's just like it's the whole movie is told through Snapchat stories.
Yeah, like pretty much.
Oh, dude.
But it's like
we struck gold with that. You could do a lot with that. You could build a whole movie based on chronological Snapchats.
I've actually I came out with another idea. I came out with this back in November actually, when I was at Ashero Fest, the Travis Scott shit. Is like because my Instagram story was like pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't usually like, I mean, not Instagram story, my Snapchat story was like pretty dope, and like I don't even like I was only there for an hour.
Yeah.
Like that shit was all day. You know what I mean? Like it started like noon and then into like 10:30 and 11 o'clock or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I got there like 9:30. Travis Scott was on stage when I got there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if you look at my Snapchat story, it looked like I had the time of my fucking life. And I did though, bro. Like,
yeah, but you didn't
I was there
see
for
the whole
an
day,
hour, but like it was fucking just the greatest thing. And I was like, yo, it will be dope.
Here's how you could do it. Here's how you could do it. So, in the Snapchats and the Instagram stories, it's making it look like everything's great. Like they're like, oh, about to go do my audition or something like that. And it just makes it seem like they're still relevant, but they're struggling.
Right.
So the more as the movie progresses, you could do it in a movie actually. The more the movie progresses, then you have fans doing Snapchats like, oh my god, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And like you see the
working at IHOP or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So as you watch it, then you start to realize like, okay, the celebrities are full of shit, but you kind of empathize with them because you're like, damn, what do they do? Their career like just ended, fell off a cliff. What do you do? I think that could be an interesting way to tell it through like a movie, like a mockumentary type style.
Right, and through like social, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like how like Unfriended did with the Skype calls and all that shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they kept it on like that one platform, but like with mobile things, it'll be like because you can have like multiple, like how Cloverfield was,
right?
Like, multiple camera angles, like
exactly.
things going on at the same time. But what I was getting to about the Travis Scott thing was like having you remember like the Up in Smoke tour?
Yeah.
You remember like that movie and shit? Like they had, it was like, like they had like it was like the whole fucking thing, the whole concert and shit, multiple camera angles, like the huge fucking production, backstage shit, all kind of shit. Imagine that shit, like a entire show, entire concert series, or whatever, but shot from Snapchat or just shit pulled from like all
That
these
would be
social.
cool.
You know, because like I thought
Well,
about this. Like,
Snapchat, their stock has dropped over the last few years, and a lot of it stemmed from that app, the redesign. They never
which
really
is
quite
lame as fuck.
Yeah, they never quite recovered, and they're still, relevant.
Instagram is still king, by the way.
Yeah, well, Snapchat, they're still relevant. They're not profitable. I read the other day. I think they're still not profitable. Don't kill me if I'm incorrect on that, but they need something like this to kind of reinvigorate the app. Why not, have us do it?
Because imagine, I mean,
yeah,
imagine like something. I mean, and we could do any subject, like how we just bounced around 3 fucking like random ass like subjects that didn't have nothing to do. We did a concert, a fucking like mockumentary type movie, like or just like something like actually like real. You know what I'm saying? But also think about like the like how everything is like. You could get, like them to sponsor it for it to be like there, so it's something that like brings them back. Like how, like I said, like with the like that Unfriended movie, like how they use like literally every facet of what you have right here on your screen. You know what I'm saying? Like like every facet of it. You know what I'm saying? Skype, fucking your browser, like everything. It could be like chronological like that, or just like how Cloverfield was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's so much. It's so easy. I don't see how it isn't like how every movie isn't like that nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
It is interesting.
It's an easy like concept to do.
I mean, they'll kind of do like the Skype thing where it's like a webcam. They've done that ploy a couple times, but I haven't really seen many movies that do it from the perspective of a social media story. And it doesn't have to be a specific social network, although I think that would be an awesome cross promo.
It could bounce from like the different apps, like how you do this shit on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think there's something there, man. I think that'd be a really good show, good movie. So when do we start recording these 2 movies?
Shit. I mean, obviously we got to get into writing and probably storyboarding. Probably storyboarding first, but I mean that could start ASAP. You know what I mean? Like obviously we got tons of concepts. And like I said, this shit, like telling the story. I mean, obviously that's the point of like Instagram stories, the Snapchat stories is like you're telling the story of like that individual, or like if it's like a company, that brand, like whatever it is. If it's a team, the basketball team, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever, like. Just put that into like an hour and a half long format, you know what I mean, and make it interesting enough to where like it's like, oh shit, this could work for any and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Listeners, if you're interested in acting
bankrolling
or being
this
part
shit.
of this, anything like that, if you ever hear an idea that you're interested in, you can email us. Of course, I'll look through any of those ideas, and if you have your own pitch ideas, we'll read them off to the audience and give you a shout out at the end. But yeah, stay tuned for the next one.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.